Hello, Cancer. My name is Matt, and I'm here to do your reading today. Basically, these readings are just going to be focused on, self improvement, or, I'm not really one to give advice on relationships, but if it comes up in the reading, I'll address it um, in some way and see, where this goes. So, well, um, yeah. So I'm just here to see what it is I can guide you through. So let's figure out if you even need guidance at all. All right. So splitting the deck, you have the Five of Coins and the Judgment. So maybe it's somebody's judgment to be kind of kicked out of some kind of gathering, some kind of location. Someone feels left out in a way. Alright. Let's see what else. Got a few cards. Okay. This is going to be a different read, alright, than the rest of the readings I had, but we'll go with it. So your first card is the Eight of Swords. Cancer, it seems like you're some kind of bondage here, kind of mental bondage. There is a sense of transformation that you are either going through or you're like in a cocoon like state before you really turn into this full fledged butterfly. It seems like it's like you're making yourself blind to something. All right. You have the Chariot. So with these two cards, I feel like either you're being given an opportunity to overcome this whatever hurdle that you're in, but there's a sense of you. I don't know if you're like afraid to like move on, or if you are not clearly seeing where you're moving to, so you stay stuck in one place. Up next is the Eight of Cups. So this talks about leaving things in the past, basically, leaving things behind. But this person is kind of, you know, thinking to themselves, I mean, at least I get the feeling that maybe you're wondering, like, because with this card here, you don't really want to, like, move on. Um, there's something here that your past is holding you back from. Seven of Swords is up next. So there's somebody that may have taken things from you, may have been very sneaky, very just kind of taking a lot more than what you wanted to give, right? And then you have the Six of Swords. So this is kind of moving past that logically, but emotionally, you're still very stuck on this. Very interesting. I think you're meant to come out of this because what is this? The major arcana is this. So the universe is like pushing you forward no matter what. And this is where you're going to. But there's something in your subconscious that you're not really sure how to move past. Because it's like this is you moving physically, right? Moving on logically and being able to do it physically, but emotionally you're just disappointed. Okay. With the two eights here, the Eight of Cups, or the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords, there's a there's a cycle that's happening that is kind of creeping its way back in, and then it kind of messes with your head, and you just like it's almost like you're closing yourself off from one to avoid the other. But when you do that, like say you close off your emotions, then you're not, um, you're just thinking logically, like right, you're just thinking logically. And if you always just think logically, then it kind of comes off as cold-hearted. But if you think too emotionally, um, then you're not using your logic as well as you'd like to. I feel like there's some kind of balancing that's going to be needed here for you, because you have the 6, 7, 8, and then another 8, because it goes from like 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. So you're like stuck between whatever it is that needs to push you forward. So there is something for you to learn here, or to gain, like something very very valuable for you. And you have the 2 of coins on the bottom of the deck too. So that's another 8 right there. So that's some kind of looping. I think someone is concerned with you getting out of this loop. Someone's really concerned with you finding your way out of this, because if you do, then you're just gonna like be jolted and like move forward so quick. It's like someone wants you stuck in there. Or maybe someone moved away and they're kind of like, they took like a piece of you with them. Let's see what we get for the 8 of Swords, because I think I'm more concerned about what it is that keeps you in this cycle. So what's the 8 of Swords? What's the 8 of Swords? You have the Ace of Cups. There's like an offer, a love offer, um, that you're not seeing. You've been given a gift of renewal, but maybe you're afraid to accept it for some reason. There's something about your fear and your disappointment. Maybe you don't want to be disappointed in this, with this new offer of love here. So you think about the past and you wonder, like, is that the same thing gonna happen? Well, if you think about it, then yeah, basically the same thing will happen. Um, what else? Someone wants to take a leap of faith here with the Fool, but there's some sort of sense of ego that needs to go. I don't know if it's from this person. Maybe that's why you're closed off to it, because this person could have an issue with their ego. You know, if this is the same person who this is, then they're just not really there for you. So you're closed off to their offer. So that might be smart. Actually, I think that's kind of a smart thing. Okay, I think that's smart. If you don't get a good sense from them or a good feeling from them, and you feel uncomfortable, I think it's good to kind of like leave that mindset with that person and be reluctant to that offer. So I think that's just you keeping yourself safe here. You don't want to let your emotions give out. But let's look deeper into it. Okay. What's the Ace of Cups? All right, one more shuffle. And I guess there's no need to clarify the Ace of Cups there. I think you're pretty set on what you you want that closed off. I don't think you really want anything to do with this new love offer. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to acknowledge like what you're not ready for, because either way you're being pushed into something. So let's see what this Chariot is then. What's the Chariot? Maybe it's not revealed yet where you're gonna be put through, where you're gonna go next. I think that's kind of what this is. Oh. Yeah, it's not going to be really revealed to you in the way you want it to, but this is you going toward your happy life, happy end all be all emotionally. This is where you're going to be shot toward. But I think it's like a temptation of somebody like offering this to you, and you don't know, because like an angel can come as how do I put it? Like Lucifer also came as like an angel of light. That doesn't mean that you should be accepting of that, right? I think you should like take notice, and I think you do. That's why you purposefully bonded yourself and stay closed off from this. It's almost like you locked yourself up, and I think that's a very smart way to go about it. I think you're being very safe because you don't trust this, and that's okay to not trust it, because in your sense you're like there's something that's bigger here for you, and there is. Yeah, I think you're kind of protecting that, or that's already kind of being protected, and you're going to be guided through that spiritually. But right now, I guess we'll go on to the Eight of Cups, the emotional disappointment here, or the leaving things behind because it wasn't serving you. So let's look at that. Okay, it's the Eight of Cups. The Strength card. So yeah, the Strength to still see this person, and you have the Two of Cups, another offer with somebody, another love offer, but this time somebody's either offering it to you or you're offering it to someone else. So this is you finding the strength to leave, what wasn't serving you behind. And I think for you, it's also the strength to resist the things that are trying to bring you back. There's a strong sense of you being told that this is the love offer here, or like somebody kind of somebody or something trying to confuse you of what is a love offer versus what is an offering. It's kind of different. Like a love offer is somebody that gives you something, but an offering is somebody that like sacrificed that offer already to the Most High, and then it's given to you in a different form. Okay, so that there, just to clarify, like somebody just going to give you something, and then you might feel that they are looking for something in return, whereas this person could have sacrificed something to be able to get to this point with you, right? Like if they sacrifice their life for God, then God is going to just guide you guys into a place where you just kind of meet up without having to um, come by and come by and mystify everything. It'll just kind of be known. Like you wouldn't be so closed off. Okay. So let's see what the Seven of Swords is. I see a lot of blue too. A lot of blue. The blue. What does the blue stand for? I think blue stands for justice, and blue stands for law. Um, being straight in your way, being sure about it, following, diligently. I think that's kind of important here. Again, another card that shows blue here. But this is Knight of Cups. This is somebody who's a bit protective, but it came with the 7, right? It came with this guy. Somebody kind of stealing something from you, and they could have stolen, an offer that you, not an offer, but like they could have stolen or misused your emotions in a way, and it caused you to be really protective of yourself, right? Um, it caused you to kind of like, no, I'm not really going to offer this right now, but I still have it here, but I'm not just going to just give it out to anyone because you've already had what it's like for someone to just take it and never like return it or like give you something in return, or they take too much and they only leave a little behind, and you're like, I'm just going to hold on to the little that I have here that's left. But the strength card here is showing you that whatever blue here that you feel like you're missing, it's going to come back. Like this feeling, this past covering here, eventually, what will be shared with everyone. Like all the emotions that you've had before, it'll come back. Um, it'll come back. What's the word? Or what's the saying from the Bible that's like, you will be like, if your sins are forgiven, then like your clothing will be turned white, like you'll become pure again. I think this is kind of referencing that kind of purity, that loss of that loss of the blue. I think would be like almost like that loss of like purity and sense of self. This will be you slowly regaining it over time. That's what you're being pushed to do here. That's why you're needing a lot of strength and to kind of like leave some things behind. The old way of feeling, right? But still being able to resist, um, that feeling itself too. Okay, so let's look at the Six of Swords. What's the Six of Swords? The Four of Wands. Yeah, this is you moving on for another chance at love here. This is basically just finding another chance of love, um, finding a new foundation within yourself. This card. This person is single, right? She's kind of by herself, but she's pretty satisfied. She's happy. She's got a cat basically, and she like knows what she's looking for, and she's kind of just I mean, I don't know. She just seems a bit. mm, I don't want to say she's happy, but she's like ambitious in a way. So you're moving forward. You're moving forward from this uncertainty here, and you're heading toward a more ambitious nature in yourself. You're not looking more toward what it is that keeps you this way. You're going to be moving on from that. You're going to be looking at your past and deciding what is it that I should take with me and what is it that I should leave behind, right? And then you're going to make that action. You're just kind of deciding what it is that should be left behind. So let's see. Let's see what else. You have a lot of progression cards like 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. That's a kind of like a bit of stagnation there. You have the ace and then the 10. So that's like the 11 and the 10. So kind of going back. And then you have the 8 here again. So strong 8s. And 4 is half of 8. And these two make 11, right? The ace and the 10. The Four of Wands is the 11-11 card. So you're going to come back from whatever, not even come back, you're going to move forward from whatever was holding you back previously. There's nothing to really fight, I would say, other than just resist, which is different from fighting. Resisting isn't entirely fighting, it's just kind of avoiding almost. Okay. All right, what proverbs can we get for this? 14, 29, 11, 5, 16. 16. Two eights make 16. So you have 8 and 8 right here. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. Maybe you're trying to, maybe you're just pissed. Maybe you're like very, very, like you're very disappointed. You're very upset. And you're needing the strength to not really just blow up. You need the strength to really resist the temptation of just kind of. This woman has her mouth shut. You're trying really hard to keep your mouth shut. You really want to say something, but you know it's coming from a place that's just completely kind of pissed you off. But I think that's smart. You don't want to like force someone. You don't want someone to force you to act that way, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't really need to be pushed to that extent. You know, like that's why you're kind of resisting. But I think that's pretty interesting. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hastily of spirit exalteth folly. Maybe this person came in and offered something, and you're like, I'm just not gonna blow up on him right now because he's obviously not thinking clearly, and I don't want to say something because he's not thinking clearly. Then I'm gonna think unclearly too, and then say something that that I would regret. Because you're not trying. Maybe you're not trying to hurt this person either, but this person's offer is like already agitating you, so you're just trying to like cut ties in a sense. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay. The next one is Proverbs 22:1. Let's see. 2 and 2 make 4, and the 1 would be the ace. So the 4 of wands here, and then the ace of cups. This could be interesting. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. If we're talking about the 4 of wands, it's like being married to somebody. Almost. That's like that would be like the marriage card, the happy home. Right? And having a good name, like having people speak your name and be confident and say like this person has like has a good understanding. This person is not one to just focus on what it is that makes people rich. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess I'm basically just saying this. Somebody that just has a really good rapport with other people, and like other people are like, yeah, like this person is a really down to earth fucking person. This person is the type of person that even though you do some shit bad to them, they're not going to be quick to like cut your neck or cut your throat, but they're going to be quick to cut you off. They're going to be quick to stop feeding whatever it is, which is better than somebody that's like, man, this person's going to fucking go violent on you. Like, it's better to have that. I mean, it's better to have, people say good things than they are to say, like, damn, this person fucked that dude up, or this person, like, went off on this other person, and being viewed in that sense. So I think that's what you're thinking of here. I feel like you're handling yourself very very classy, very classy. This is that's the feeling I think it's a very classy feeling because all of this is like bubbling on the surface. It's not something that you just outwardly show. you're very careful with your words here. But that's kind of what's boosting you forward. That's kind of what's going. That's why the universe is kind of offering, or the Father is going to offer you a quick vehicle out, because you're holding steady and you're holding strong. So a lot of times people think the Eight of Swords is you always being trapped in yourself, but in a sense, it's like you're protecting yourself more than you are entrapping yourself. And you want to move forward, and that's why you got your eyes straight forward here. Okay. Even in this card, the eyes are looking forward. You're not looking back. Okay. What else can we get? You have Peter 5:2. So let's see. 5:2 is 7. 5:2, the Chariot. Roman numeral 5 and 2 ones. Yeah, this is talking about the Chariot. So 1 Peter 5:2. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof. You see that sight I was just talking about. Not by constraint, but willingly. Not for dishonest gain, but for a ready mind. That's, again, being classy, being ready to accept whatever the next phase is. But right now, you're kind of in a very standstill energy. I think you're going to be moving forward, maybe in a different way you weren't expecting. Um, but I think you're kind of being taken care of. I think you being very strong and standing straight up with what you believe in and how you want to handle yourself. That's going to prove very useful to God, basically. So God is going to take use of that, and He's gonna acknowledge that in a very um, I don't want to say dramatic, but um, he's gonna take note of that and see. He's gonna offer you something that is going to be fitted toward that kind of behavior, because you're already mastering that. Um, so he's gonna offer you something similar here. That's why it's like the Chariot and the Six of Swords is basically almost the same exact energy, or almost the same exact card, except this one is basically from the universe, or from God, from Source, right? This would be like you physically moving on, and you're manifesting this in your physical sense, but then your spiritual sense, you're going to be boosted too. So don't think that you're kind of like caught in this illusion, because it's not really an illusion. Like, this is going to be coming. You're going to be coming out of this spiritually and physically at the same time. I think God recognizes your strength and is going to reward it. And He recognizes that you also know that just because a love offer is here doesn't mean it's something that you need to take. So He's also seeing, what it is He can trust you with, and how deep your discernment is. You know, so I think your discernment here is going to also be taken note of. So I feel like with each blue here, He's like, okay, that's a test here. Okay, you want this blue, right? This blue that is encompassing everything. But are you willing to let go of that, of this version of blue, and to hold on only to this amount for this period, and still resist something that is giving you more? And then being able to let it go and not be so attached to it. Yeah, I think you're holding tight onto something, and you're protecting yourself while you're doing it. He doesn't need to constantly offer you protection. You protect yourself. He's gonna make use of that in some way, and I think that's, you know, I think that's pretty. What's the word? That's a pretty good servant right there. I would say it's a pretty good servant. He's gonna make note of that for sure. wonder what you're gonna do, or what he's gonna have you do, or what he's gonna throw in your way next. I hope you're getting a little excited because this is going to change, and he's gonna take note, and it's gonna change specifically catered to what it is you're good at. Okay, so stay blessed and stay prosperous, Cancer. All right.